The most important part of this is that we're starting with a regular, healthy, biological brain, and we know there's consciousness there. They can introspect on their own consciousness, let us know what they're thinking, what they're feeling, what they're experiencing, and then their consciousness would be expanded by adding billions of artificial neurons. As these neuron substitutes wire together with their brain, their consciousness should expand into this newly available space. In theory, it would be a sort of upgrade. And this person would be able to explain to us exactly what sensations they experience as a result of this. They can tell us what it feels like to have these artificial neurons working as a part of their brain. Of course, we have no awareness of the actual lower-level goings-on of our brain. When we're thinking, we never notice, oh, this particular neuron is firing to that particular neuron. No, all we have is just the sensation of consciousness and perceiving our various sensory inputs. So this person probably wouldn't be able to tell us, oh, look at what that artificial neuron is doing. But they should be able to give us a general description of how the experience feels. Whether they feel more or less normal and it's business as usual in there, just with a bit more brain power available, or the sensation is distinctly different in some noticeable way, or even grating and unpleasant. Whatever happens, they should be able to inform us about it from first-hand experience, which should at least provide us some clues regarding whether non-biological material can support consciousness just as well as our natural brains. Make no mistake, the whole thing does sound risky, maybe even a little crazy, but if we stick with our biological brains, we're going to end up dying anyway. Isn't it worth trying to find a way out? Not to say that this is the only way out. This is so hypothetical, it will probably be decades before we see anything even remotely like this. This is just one proposal for moving the mind into a digital substrate. And the most important thing about digitization is that it provides flexibility. Now that we have computers, we don't really use typewriters that much anymore, because compared to banging out letters in ink on a sheet of paper, it's far easier to write, revise, copy, and transfer a text document in digital form. The same goes for biological brains versus digital minds. Biological material is difficult to work with and study. If you want to take apart someone's brain to study various individual pieces of it, well, you'd better hope they're already dead, because otherwise you've just killed them. And given the current state of technology and neuroscience, that would really be the only way to digitize an entire brain. Cut it into very thin slices, scan all of them at very high resolution, and reassemble the copies of the slices in a computer to get a copy of the original brain. Right now, neuroimaging methods like MRI and fMRI, magnetoencephalography, PET scans, and so on don't have the resolution necessary to capture all of the important details of the brain. But however we eventually go about it, getting an entire brain into a digital format will make it so much easier to study and experiment on and figure out how the whole thing works. The Blue Brain project in Switzerland has an ultimate goal of simulating a whole human brain at the molecular level. They've already run cellular-level simulations of 10,000 neurons and 30 million synapses from a rat. These simulations are so realistic they've been used to verify the results of actual biological experiments. But running the simulation requires a room full of supercomputers, and it only runs at about 1/100th of the speed of actual neurons. It will take at least several decades before computers are small enough and fast enough to simulate an entire human brain. But once we get there, this will be so beneficial to neuroscience research. We'll be able to see everything the brain is doing at every level and study it as much as we want. That's exactly what the Blue Brain project is working towards. They understand how important this is. There's also a major ethical issue here. It is so significant that I will address it at a later time because I have yet to fully explore it. But if you've been paying attention, you should be able to recognize what it is. Anyway, in conclusion, we need to kill death by moving our minds into a more resilient, more permanent medium protected from decay and destruction. And it's not just death that needs to end, we need to cure stupidity by enhancing our intelligence. Let me give you an example. Right now, in the Middle East, there are two factions killing each other over a territorial dispute. Both of them want the same piece of land. Why? Because one side is following an ancient holy book that says the land is theirs. The other side is following another holy book that says, no, the land is ours. Using that as the rationale for anything is bad enough to begin with, but using it to justify killing people is ghastly, harmful, unproductive, stupid, and wrong. We need to get smarter. Not so we can come up with new and better ways to kill each other, but so we can stop wanting to kill each other. It scares me so badly that even to this day, not only is humanity capable of killing itself, but there are some people who are either so reckless they don't care if this happens, or so insane that they actually want it to happen. It's not just that I don't want to die. It's not just that I don't want individuals to die. I don't want the human race to die. We are the only intelligent life in this universe that we know of, and we have a responsibility to stay alive. I don't want us to be nothing but a blip on the timeline. I want us to continue existing until the end of time. And if we die because we were so stupid, our priorities were so out of order, that we couldn't even keep from willingly killing ourselves, or we couldn't get our act together to spread ourselves beyond a single planet before the next major impact event comes along, that would be a tragedy on such an epic scale I can't even wrap my mind around it. Intelligence is something that needs to be protected and nurtured so that it can thrive, and we are the bearers of the torch. If we are to have any chance at lighting up the universe with intelligent life, we need to be better and do better than this. A lot better. And if we want to live forever in a state of perfection, we can't just wait to die and hope that's what happens afterward. It is our responsibility to make it happen. We have to take the reins, and we have to start working on it right now. Our lives depend on it.